everyone. This is Kelly Gladden with the Kelly Gladden Show, and I'm here with Jeff.
Jeff Heinle.
I knew your last name.
No, I was just going to say it. Everybody pronounces it wrong. They're like Jeff Heinle, and I never correct them. So,
Heinle.
How long have we known each other?
Oh my gosh, 10 years?
At least.
At least?
Yes, 10 years.
Yeah, we won't say longer because then we'll be older.
Yeah, we don't want to be older.
No.
So, okay.
Yeah, so you and I have a lot of common interests and passions together, compassion for certain areas we have to keep,
Yes. Yes, we do. We do.
One big topic is the fires that are going on. We have a lot of questions about that.
Yes.
And then the other is the homelessness.
Yes.
What
and
else?
mental health, too.
And
Yeah, I want to talk about mental health, too.
you're running for office.
I'm running for Board of Supervisors, District 3. My opponent is incumbent Mike Maggard, who's been on the board now for 12 years. This will be 16 if he stays on another term. And I want him to go ahead and lose and move somewhere.
Move on.
Move on. Yeah.
I really
he's a career politician.
I really like how you went from homelessness straight to I'm running for office.
Yes.
I mean, not mental illness.
Yes. Yes.
Speaking of homelessness, it's crazy all the complaints that Mike has caused with the signs with the business owners.
Yes.
He's always such a delight that I lose my train of thought.
Well, yeah,
there's you so long.
I think
let's take a step back.
Yeah, let's go back to the beginning. Let's
Yes.
go back to the deinstitutionalization of our mental health programs. We call it behavioral health now, but back then it was referred to as mental health. And we had asylums.
Mental asylums.
Right.
I'm very pro mental asylum.
Yeah, California deinstitutionalized those back in 1970, 69 to 70.
Right.
And then it trended
Who was in
throughout.
office then?
It was Governor Ronald Reagan.
Yeah.
Ronald Reagan. And then when he became president, he continued that on through.
And that's when he was a little bit Democratic at the time.
Yeah, which doesn't really fit, I don't think.
I know.
Anyways.
He's a Republican. It's sort of like us. We're
yes,
both.
Yes.
We do the right thing.
Yes, we just do the right thing. That's what we need to do is the right thing.
I'm trying to
Anyways.
keep you on track.
That's all right. Thank you. Stay on target. So,
favorite line from your Star Wars movie?
That's been yes, my favorite movie, yes. So
easy.
Yes. So we deinstitutionalize those programs for whatever historical reason. You'd have to go back and look at what the policies were back there and why we trended that way. But the cause and effect from that was an increase in our homelessness population, our homeless population. So as we stopped treating their mental illnesses, we began to see it become more and more of a problem. So you start to look at the homeless stew now, and there are a lot of ingredients. You have behavioral health, which is a significant portion of our population that are untreated.
Correct.
You have substance abuse, which is another ingredient.
Leads to behavior.
Yeah, it leads to crime too.
Yeah.
You have the governor's, remember when the governor signed AB 109 in about 6 years ago and released all the prisoners, followed by Prop 47, which released more prisoners?
Yeah.
That adds to the homeless stew. And then you have insecure housing. We talked a little bit about that before we sat down. Where you have these people that are right on the verge of losing everything.
They say 70% of the population is one paycheck away.
And so those people that lose that, they get displaced, and then they don't have the funding for even a rental because you need first, last, and deposit. So affordable housing.
You need to have an address.
Yes, and
proof of address.
Yeah, and so affordable housing falls into that. And so over the last 10 years, the Homeless Collaborative came together, which is a group of all kinds of private, governmental agencies, and they have been working to try to get our homeless off the streets.
Right.
And they've done a good job with the tools that they've had. And
the problem is they don't have enough tools. We need to kick in funding.
We need emergency funding now.
Yeah, emergency funding.
We need emergency funding.
There's no reason that we can't give it.
Right. So a couple days ago, on Monday, the Board of Supervisors held a very large meeting, packed the house.
A circus show that turned into a poop show.
I question this because when you have three incumbents that are all running for office.
80 days out?
Yeah. I mean, the timing of this is really bad. and to listen to my opponent talk about cleaning up trash and the boards he's been on, and another board of supervisors just posted something about the work that he has done. I think that's an embarrassment, because for 10 years you can't say this is what I've done and then have a problem that's even bigger than what it was 10 years ago. So
I mean, I would be embarrassed to say honestly that I had anything to do with the homeless situation.
Right.
I mean, it has spread. It used to be in certain areas they had tent cities, or certain areas that were homeless, or you'd get some panhandlers.
Yes.
Now it's in Rosedale. Like you go,
and they're becoming,
or the median. They're becoming the median.
They're becoming more aggressive too.
Yes.
And so, I'm going to challenge the board of supervisors here on your show. If this was not a stunt, and if this was not political expedience for political gain, then I'm going to challenge them to dip into the county's emergency funds and fund some of the programs that they can fund through the county, behavioral health.
Right.
Our social services, and get them, and let's start seeing some tangible results.
Right.
Because if they don't do that, then it was a disingenuous moment.
It was a play.
And it was a play on people's emotions, because this is the number one issue in Kern County now. And if we do not get this right, and we don't start supporting the plan that is out there, there's a new plan now, and if we do not aggressively go after that and take control of our own fate and listen to the professionals that have been screaming for the last 10 years, then we are going to have a more serious problem when the federal government dictates our fate like they did in Orange County. And to me, that is unacceptable. The homelessness crisis is unacceptable to me. I have been in pre-hospital care, you know this, for 33 years now.
Right.
I have seen their tragedies. I have learned their names.
You've held their hands.
I've held their hands when they've died. I have a whole bunch of different faces now are just going through my head as I'm talking about this, and I cannot stand idly by and allow the county to just go down the path that they're going without challenging their motives behind that last meeting.
Right.
Because they have had plenty of meetings with the Homeless Collaborative, and those people are doing great work. They've housed over the last 10 years, 5,000 homeless people. They're getting our vets off the street. They're doing everything they can with the toolbox that they have.
Right.
But as Bill Walker said, we need a bigger boat. And the boat that they're on is...
and they need more fuel.
Yeah. They need a lot of help. And I think it's an emergency. And so, like I said,
it's so much more important than oiling the roads in Rosedale 20 times.
Yes, I mean, all of that stuff's important, and you try to...
But it's not as important. I mean, there's things that are...
But there's monies that come through, pass-through monies that come through that are dictated.
Right.
So until we can get state and federal grants to really get going on this, I say we dip into our emergency funds and start taking care of our homeless crisis.
So how do you think that we can help the homeless?
The Homeless Collaborative has a very significant plan, and I think one of the first things that we need to address is behavioral health. That is the biggest part of it.
Dr. Ravi, a psychiatrist. There's Dean Haddock, the psychologist. I know
Dr. Gocklani. There's a whole bunch that are involved in that, and they have been advocating for more help for a long time. Well, for 10 years.
Right.
And so we need to create soft barrier shelters where our homeless people can bring their partners, their possessions, their pets. They can go through a screening process. We can do, with emergency funds, we can do one-time expenditures and get some property, some land or whatever, start putting beds in, and then beef up our existing programs with emergency funding so that we can start screening these people and getting them into a system.
What about some of the closed down military bases?
Yeah, that would be like a wonderful idea.
We could do the asylums, so the mental issue, allergies are bad, sorry.
Yeah. Well, we don't want to go back to asylums. Asylums were, that's really not what we're trying to do, but we are definitely trying.
But I think that they served a purpose. I mean, I'm not talking about the negativity, but if you're unable to function...
Well, closing down all those centers closed down behavioral health for those people back then, and they all got displaced. Because what happens is and I don't know how close the behavioral health is to you, but it's very important to me.
Right.
But a lot of people struggle with family members that are schizophrenic or bipolar, or
I think everyone
have
does.
paranoid
We all
delusions.
have one.
Someone
in
has
the family or
yeah.
a friend.
Yeah, and
Or know someone.
and it gets to the point where these people they aren't treated, and then they end up on the street. So
Right.
we need to be able to provide treatment for them, take care of their mental health issues. Then we also need to be, and this is a coordinated attack, right?
But
so
those are
like
the
if I was a
people that are
fireman,
functionable. I'm
Yeah.
talking about the people that truly aren't going to be able to function ever. So
Right.
they're out on the streets. They choose to be homeless because
how do you institutionalize them then, right?
right.
Right. So
So
that's where
an
the homeless
issue.
that's where the homeless collaborative has a very detailed plan on how to deal with those people. It's a very it's extremely detailed, and they are addressing those issues
Right.
as well. But then we've got to look at substance abuse as well.
Wow.
And we got to get them into treatment.
Opioids.
So here, opioids, meth. Look at the unaddressed methamphetamine problem in Oildale and in Taft, and and other parts of our Kern County, and that's gone unaddressed for over a decade now. So we've got to have a system in place for that. And then we've got to look at the people that have been displaced from insecure housing issues and the one check
Right.
away. Those are the people that want to work. And the communities, like in Texas and Nevada and other places, they are doing workfare instead of a welfare, and they're giving these people jobs.
Right. Sort of like Jesus taught people to fish.
Yes, exactly. So. We need to create those opportunities, and the Homeless Collaborative has
Right.
been doing that. They have a workforce
Right.
that gives the displaced and our homeless population a place to get a job.
Right.
The county can dovetail into that, bring their resources to bear, and we can start cleaning up some of the urban blight that has been
Right.
plaguing our community for over a decade now, and we can start making our community look better.
Right.
At the same time, putting people to work that will go and get housing and then spend their money and create a good sales tax revenue
Right.
from that. So it's a good investment. It's a good investment.
Do you think perhaps, let's take a step back, because at some point, mental illness, when it's when you're born with it, it's something that's more chronic, not an acute situation. There's programs for that, like we talked about. But some of it, do you think perhaps we should start in school and teach manners, kindness, help kids read? Mm-hmm. Because
well, education is important. It's always
Exactly.
important. So yes. So there's a
basic
component there.
life skills, because we no longer...
You want to go back to you want to go back to
home ec.
Yeah.
I mean,
all the trades have been removed from the schools.
Right.
So
So why don't we spend the money and put the trades back in the school and teach? Not everybody is meant to be a college professor.
Right.
Nor do they want to be.
Right.
We need welders. We need...
Right.
there's
Okay.
all
So I
kinds
see
of
where you're
skills.
going. I see where this conversation is going. So yeah, there is definitely a component to that. And as you know, my platform is public safety and health. Mental
I was
health.
leading you.
Yes,
I was on track.
education and jobs. And education, I totally agree.
Right.
The trades are very important. Not everybody's going to be tech savvy and want to go into tech and all that other stuff. And
Right.
there's always going to be jobs for labor. The carpenters have a wonderful program, as do the rest of the trades, cement
Right.
workers, welders, everything. But the carpenters, I got to go look at their program. And they start the kids off their freshman year in high school, and they run them through this
I love the
program.
wood shop programs.
Yes,
Yeah.
and so these kids, they go in as apprentices, and they're already ahead of the game if they get in these programs
Right.
early. I've worked with the cement workers, the cement trades,
Right.
mason trades, and with that big 911 memorial that we
Right.
built. And I got to know
Which
a lot
is
of those people,
fabulous.
and they've brought their apprentices back to do more work and to look at the projects, and so I know they have a great program, and they're welders. All of them have.
Right.
The trades have great programs. That's why we need to start supporting the trade
Trades.
unions that are out there, because they're teaching these kids and giving them
Right.
the education they need to be successful. And then when they get out, they have these jobs where they don't have to rely on government subsidies and
Right.
other things. They have a tool set.
For those that don't know, you're a fireman.
Yes, captain with the Bakersfield Fire Department.
And
I've
how
been
long
there
have you done that?
27 years now.
27 years.
I'm working on 27. I'm very close.
Well, I remember growing up that it was such a cool thing for the boys that wanted to be firemen because everybody likes you and it's such a great paying job. But we have people leaving in droves from Kern County going to other counties that are firemen.
And it all ranks.
Is it because we're mean to them, or
no?
Is it
it's because we're no. It's because
that
we've
was
been
sarcasm.
Yeah, the county's on fire. It really is, and the budget is been in a perpetual quicksand.
It's out of control.
It's out of control, and when the oil market tanked,
frack, baby, frack.
We were not the county. Yeah, the county was not. Yeah, the county was not in a position.
My husband's in oil.
Yeah, so is my brother-in-law.
I had to disclose that. Yeah.
Era. No, I totally support the oil industry here.
Right.
So, but when the oil market took
crashed.
a dive, the county's formula has been oil and ag, and when 40% of their budget is oil. That's huge when you're talking billions and billions of dollars. And
perhaps we should diversify?
Yes.
Is that a thought?
Diversification is the key to getting our financial house in order.
Right. You never want to have all your eggs in one basket.
No. And while oil and ag have been great staples for us, we
no
cannot
water.
rely on that. Yeah, well, and ag is going to take ag's going to take a major hit.
Right.
They're looking at, with the tariffs and the tariff wars that we're dealing with China, up to a 30% hit. And our economy...
But we'll subsidize them.
The farmers?
Yeah.
Well, they're not going to be able to sell their growth. That's the problem. So, because, we
they'll
won't
break
be able to,
even.
tariffs are going to hurt them.
Right.
So...
For a while, and then it'll level out, don't you think?
I'm hoping.
Yeah.
But anyways...
Statistically, it shows that it levels out.
Yeah, so... We have to diversify. We
have to look at a little.
No, you're good. We have to diversify. We have to get our coffers so we have new revenue streams coming in.
Right.
Economic engines like opportunities that we missed with the California Music Festival.
I mean, the music festival. That was the craziest thing ever. Why
did $50 million. Well, there's farming out there. There was access things with the certified users permit. There were a few issues that could have been easily reconciled.
Nonsensical. Yes.
Yeah. And so I just think that, when you get career politicians, and are you sick of the career political?
One of the reasons that I voted for Trump is because I am very...
Top to bottom.
Yeah.
With term limits are weird.
I'm sick of everything. I think we should have term limits. I think term limits in Congress, the Senate.
Top to bottom.
I think you shouldn't get retirement for the rest of your life. Don't get me started.
Yes. Well, look at what we have on the Board of Supervisors now. We have two incumbents that have been there for 12 years.
Right.
The rest have been there for 10. So I think what happens is you rely on your staffs, you rely on, and you don't get your hands dirty anymore. That's why we need
Jackie
to change.
Sullivan has made change. She's gotten a lot with We the People.
Yes, as a matter of
fact,
so
I'm very proud of her.
We put that on our cancer memorial. I called her up and I said, we want to do this and we want your support. We want to put In God We Trust and yes. So she was very excited about that and was very supportive. She's but she's been in there a long time.
Right. And
it's a sweet lady, but maybe it's time for new faces.
Yeah,
maybe it's time for
boards too.
Yes.
I mean, don't get me started.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we've got career politicians.
We've lost money because we have poor planning. We have only planned on making money from ag
and oil. And there's some other little things in there, but those are the two big ones.
Those are our two things. Yeah. And they're both not doing good.
And we're not saying yes to new opportunities coming through. And I
perhaps
think
marijuana.
Well, cannabis, but that's
another issue, another day.
Yeah, let's
but
talk about how
the money that we turn away logically, though. I mean, we don't even take a step. We didn't put it to the people to vote and let them choose.
Right.
They made decisions for us, whether you're for it or against it.
Right. So, but circling back now to the fire department problem, and this is a problem. Stay on target. This is a problem. It's problematic in every single department in the county.
Right.
When you're running at a deficit and you can't give your employees wages for 10 to 12 years, they become disenfranchised and they lose faith in their leadership. And the buck has to stop somewhere, right?
Right.
It stops at the Board of Supervisors. And So now people have become so disenfranchised, and their pay is so far below industry standard that they're seeking jobs in other communities,
Right.
and that's why the firefighters, half of their academies go off and find jobs elsewhere.
Same with the highway patrol and
Well, highway patrol state, but their law enforcement is
law enforcement,
yes.
Bakersfield Police
Public
Department.
safety, and all of it. Detention
I'm
officers.
letting you shine.
Thank you. But public safety across the board,
Right.
they cannot retain their employees. We train them, we spend a lot of money on training, and then they leave. And then we have to backfill with overtime, and then the overtime budget gets too high, and then the Board of Supervisors complains.
Right.
So the Board of Supervisors is causing a lot of their own problems. So
Right.
This is just cause and effect of inattentiveness and complacency and a lack of vision. And that's why I'm running, because I see this just like I do any 911. It's a big fire. I'm going to figure out the best way to tactically put it out.
How many alarms do you think the county?
This is a
has?
5-alarm fire, easy.
Yeah.
It's a big
I would
one.
agree. That means 5 engines go out.
That actually blows a lot
Right?
more than that.
No, isn't it a minimum
3
of 5?
engines, 2 trucks are a reinforced first alarm. And then you get 2 engines in a truck for every alarm after.
Are you telling me Chicago fire was wrong?
And backdraft and all, yeah. So
we're going to go to break, but before we do, Goose, if you would like to put up how they can become involved with the homeless, how they can volunteer, we put up I sent you a...
Yes, she did, and Goose will very, very quickly put...
Well, or we can put that up after break, how people can...
I'll get that right after break.
And then we have a video on the fires, and then we'll come back and talk about the fires and some other fun things.
Okay.
So we got to have some fun.
Absolutely.
Perhaps Star Wars.
yeah, let's talk Star Wars. Stay on target.
I'm all focused.
Yeah, that a girl. Yeah, there you go.
Going to break.
At the time you were arrested, you were served with a DS-367 temporary driver's license. It's good for 30 days, but if you don't act within 10 days, at the end of those 30 days, your license will be suspended. It's important for your lawyer to contact the DMV for you. Set up a driver's license administrative hearing so that your license does not go into suspension. That's something here at Braemar Law we do for you.
Introducing the new California State Penitentiary Bologna Sandwich. Jail food sucks. Don't let your family eat jail food.
Well, we hope that they enjoyed their break.
Oh yeah, everybody get a drink of water.
We sure did.
Yes.
So let's talk a little bit about something else that we're passionate about. I'm, as you know, I'm a former catastrophic insurance adjuster.
Mm-hmm.
So I am a first response that go out to the large loss fires, etc. And you have so much training and background and a different perspective. What do you think about them not deforestification.
Yeah.
Deforestification.
That's a big word.
What do you think about the lack of deforestation?
Deforestation. I don't think we have the manpower to actually tackle how big. You're talking 30 million
What
trees.
about the homeless? Could we put them to workforce?
That's a big training endeavor, and sure, why not? why can't you supplement your fire department's programs locally with homeless people that are looking for a job and want to work?
Or the welfare people.
Yeah, those are all viable options.
Right.
All viable options. So it's become overwhelming. And
So for people that don't understand what that means, we'll show you some videos, and I've posted some stuff on my page. When you drive and you see all the beautiful green trees, and then you see 40% of them are dead trees, the dead trees are combustible and fuel that make it worse and burn everything.
yeah, and for me, one firefighter death during the fire season is too many, and now we're up to six. And that's because
we've just lost a fireman this week.
2 days ago, I think. Yeah, 2 days ago. So that's the sixth one, and this is just
My heart breaks.
yeah. And one of our local firefighters fell off a cliff, 30-foot cliff.
Wow.
And so deforestation is definitely needs to be employed, but there's no way we'll be able to tackle that. Fire is good.
What about the beetle?
Yeah, well, that's what's killing the trees, that and drought.
Can't we spray for the beetles?
No,
Why?
because you're
They'll
talking
kill the birds?
hundreds and hundreds of thousands of acres, and no,
What
fire.
eats the beetle?
Fire is the natural way to clear this out. So
It was God's way. We didn't used to put.
but it takes a lot of response from fire departments that are in the local jurisdiction as well as the state,
Right.
federally and globally,
Right.
to
Australia just came to help us.
to mass a workforce to do that, and that's the brotherhood, and that's how the emergency system works. And so we have to look at those programs. I know you and I talked a little bit before the show about the costs and what that does to our local coffers, and it actually is a win-win for our economy locally, because not only does the state pay for our firefighters to go, they pay to backfill, and that's the overtime, and then there's an administrative fee. And the administrative fee is based on size of department and resources used. I don't know what the current counties is, but I can guarantee you that they are above even on this. So the taxpayers locally do not have to worry about where the money's coming from.
It's profitable.
Yeah. So
Unfortunately, but it's profitable.
It is. So that's not an issue. The issue with the overtime budget, some of the things we talked about have to do with retention.
Right.
And have to deal with extenuating circumstances, and some of the needs of particular board of supervisors that want a seasonal station staffed all year long, and they're always staffed with overtime, and so the overtime budget increased. The Kern County Fire Department's union says, we've got a fix here, we can do this, this, and this. The Board of Supervisors need to realize that they are also causing the problem. And so to ask for $10 million out of their budget that has been underfunded and
that's been allocated for something else.
Yeah, to fix the deficit.
Right.
That they need to take responsibility for that problem as well. And they need to stand up and tell their constituents, I'm sorry, we can't fund this fire department, and they need to, let's not spend $150,000 on an audit to try to fix a problem that we can't even do with our fire chiefs and the professionals.
So the Board of Supervisors complained, and the fire department didn't do the audit, so someone else had to come in and do an audit. Because there was no
Chief
purpose.
Marshal said, where do you want me to get this money? Where do you want me to come up with this? Yeah, where do you want me? You're cutting into bone here. So
we paid $150,000 for an independent study to say there's no money to pull out.
Well, no, they have cuts, but now you're talking cuts in pay, cuts in logistics.
Are you overpaid?
Am I overpaid? No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I'm not overpaid. I make $25 an hour. How's that being overpaid?
It's not.
We talk about the schedules and things like that, and we're running the most cost-efficient schedule that is out there, that has been out there and tested against.
And we don't need to change the will. And if statistically, if you do the research on your own time, because we
You'll
can
see
get
it's
it
the
for an
most
hour.
cost-effective.
Yeah, because the 12 and 12 doesn't work. It's not cost effective.
We need a change in priority. Are we going to prioritize public safety or not? Are we going to prioritize industry standards across the board for all departments, and so that there's parity in the departments, so that we're retaining our employees that we train, or not? Are we going to get out of this quicksand
Right.
and diversify our coffers or not?
See, back to education. So let me ask you a question. On your 911 calls, I don't know if you have this information, how many of those are, non-fire related? The 911 calls that you receive, people could have just went in to their doctor the next day. How much waste are from lack of spending their own money, they're spending the taxpayer?
The 911 system is set up and it's designed to screen, and they have an algorithm that they follow. So some calls have priority, some calls don't.
Right.
Sometimes we do go to calls where we're like,
I've done ride-alongs. Somebody could have a heavy menstrual flow and they call and you guys go out.
Yeah, because they think they're,
Honestly, why? How? We should build them. These are things that I saw. Some lady thought that there was a bug in her child's ear and she called 911.
There's the ability to bill insurance for certain types of calls, but we don't
They don't
do
have
it here.
insurance. Taxpayers are paying that.
Well, car accidents and things like that. You can.
Yeah.
Okay,
but I'm talking about
indigent care. Okay, let's change gears for 1 second. Let's go back to the homeless situation.
Okay. They're not calling 911, are they?
Yes, they do. The indigents call 911, and that's part of the taxpayer's responsibility, and that's why they're $37,000 to $40,000 a year per indigent. We're paying for this already, and the studies are showing that if we house them, we lower crime, and we lower that impact to the infrastructure. Costs. We lower the impacts that happen to the hospitals and the emergency systems.
What do they call 911 for?
Everybody calls 911 subjective. What I consider an emergency versus what...
An emergency means that you're going to die within 24 hours. If you're not, don't call 911.
Some people don't, you have...
Seriously.
Yes, everybody...
I would like to go in. Okay, this is another passionate topic. I would like to go in with a bullhorn to the hospital and announce, if you can wait till tomorrow to go to your primary care physician, please leave the building.
Yes.
It's ridiculous.
Some people... Their primary physician is the hospital. They will be sick for months and months and months. And then one day they'll just finally call because they've had it. They haven't gotten over their pneumonia, or they haven't, you know what I mean?
But that's chronic. That's not acute.
Right. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Acute situations.
Yeah, acute situations.
It's a waste of money. But if we educated people, 911 is for emergencies. 911, the hospital is for an emergency.
Yes.
I can tell you, I have never been to the hospital that I have not been admitted.
Same here.
Yeah.
Kidney stones,
yes,
broken femurs.
I knew something was wrong.
Same here. Okay, but like I said, some people, they don't have the cognitive ability or the way you process.
Or they weren't taught.
Some people just don't have the ability.
Right.
Okay, let's say you have a high-functioning, behaviorally challenged person.
I'm not talking about any of those people.
Okay, but those are the people that call. Yeah. So the people that can't help it, they use the system. So listen though,
the people that can help it.
Yeah, listen though. So the fire department is your first line of social service to some of our poor and downtrodden neighborhoods. And as a Christian working in this field, the calling goes together. So when I'm going out to serve the community and serve the poor, serve the homeless, I'm not...
As a fireman or as a person?
As a fireman.
Okay.
It goes with my Judeo-Christian belief system.
I believe in everything that you're saying, but here's where I'm going to disagree with you.
Okay.
I don't believe that it is the government's job to go out and to serve the people per se in certain situations. I believe that it's a community's responsibility. As a Christian, we should all be giving back. As churches, as organizations, we should be canvassing neighborhoods.
So
we should be helping.
Okay.
You should be, as a fireman, going to emergency situations that are truly emergencies. And people that can't help it truly can't help it. But there's a lot that haven't been taught. They've been taught because they're generation after generation of welfare that they don't have. They have Medi-Cal and they don't use a primary care physician because the doctor tells them that's really not an emergency. We'll see you next week. So they go into the emergency. Or they go in for pain pills or whatever. That's what I'm talking about.
I don't judge.
Well, it's not my place to judge.
I'm not judging.
That's not a judgment. That's a factual.
I am a
that's
firefighter.
factual.
I am a firefighter that cares about his community and every single person that lives in it,
Amen.
whether they I don't care what their affiliations are. I don't care what their social
Right.
stratifications are. I came into this industry because I wanted to
Make a difference.
and do something for the greater good. One of the reasons why
Right.
I'm running, because I don't feel like the greater good is being
So
represented by my opponent, nor many on the board.
right
And-
now, as a board of supervisor, I do agree that it's your job to go out and to serve the people. I mean, I truly believe that. And there is nothing for people that don't understand the true life or death moments or life altering events. As I hit it on a little bit of a different note than you did. You hit more of the tragedy. I go out to a house, they've had a tornado, they've completely lost everything. And as a Christian, I'm able to put my hand on their shoulder and say, you know what? God has now given you the opportunity to buy all matching towels. And they bawl. I mean, that sounds so silly. There are people in the Midwest that don't have matching socks. That don't. Their children have never had brand new school clothes. They don't have dishes that match.
We
and
have
I'm
that
not
here.
being.
We have that here.
Yeah.
We have that here in our own community.
But we generally don't have the catastrophic events that we go out
No,
to.
we have a segment of society that is poor and
Right.
struggling, and they're
But
trying
it's-
to work,
right.
and they're trying to survive. And if I can provide a service that may not be an emergency to you, but maybe an emergency to them, I am more than willing to go and do that. And the system is designed so that there's that component of compassion,
Right.
that where we can go out and, maybe someone doesn't know how to turn off the water to their house and it's flooding
No,
out
and
from a
I
broken
understand
pipe,
that.
or maybe,
Right.
you know what I mean? Maybe,
But maybe instead of rolling out 3 engines to the event, maybe we send a care wagon
well, we do that.
or caravan.
Yeah, the system works that way. That's what I mean by when they get a 911 call, they screen those calls. So it does happen where we send a little bit too much to a call, but it also works. It also works in the betterment of the taxpayer, so that we're not wasting resources and that we're keeping our
So you
our
do
engines in-
screen. So that's what I was basically
absolutely.
asking. Okay.
Yeah. It's called Emergency Medical Dispatch, EMD.
Right.
And you go through a whole class and you learn how, and you get a whole format, and it's all these algorithms, and they ask all these specific
Right.
questions, and then they go, okay, that's just an ambulance. Code 2.
Right.
They can't get to the hospital. It's not life-threatening. We don't need to blare the lights and sirens,
Right.
so we just send an
And
ambulance.
I do
out there.
understand that not everybody, some people panic, some people are flight, some people are fight.
Yes.
I do understand. We
Yeah.
did go through the psychology as
Right.
adjusters of learning the difference and having compassion, and something that is the end of the world to you may not be to me. But I think for those that abuse the system willingly, maybe if we have some form of
a
education.
small fringe, and there's a system
Do you
for
really
that
think
too.
there's a small fringe?
I think
I got a question.
it's not the norm. It's not the norm.
It isn't?
I promise you, it's not the norm.
Statistically, can you back that up?
Yeah. I can show you every single call that we run. All the 44,000
I would say
calls a
with
year.
the fire department, yeah, but
Yeah.
I'm talking like going into the hospital. I mean,
we
my
see,
father-in-law recently passed away, and we went in twice. And I'm telling you, I could have treated half the people. They were there because they.
maybe you just went on a bad day.
Yeah, I've been there several times. Maybe it's just bad days all the
But
time.
it does happen. It does happen.
Yeah.
And I don't like the abusers. I see them, and I'm just, and there's a system to deal with them too.
And I
We call them
don't,
frequent flyers.
I don't judge them. I want to educate them.
Yes.
See, there's a difference, and I'm
But
not.
see, you have a high IQ. They don't have a high IQ. They're in survival and instinct mode a lot, and they don't.
But you don't feed them meat. You feed them milk. You teach them what they understand. So I'm not saying
That's
that.
what firemen do. That's the part of the system that firemen do. When we go to those types of calls, we start to teach them. No, this isn't an emergency. Do you have other, means of,
Right.
and a lot of times they call them dry runs, where we go
Right.
out there and it's like, oh, you really don't need all this. and they apologize and they feel stupid.
I think the firemen
and
are awesome that go out, especially with the elderly, because they get so flustered. And you've turned off gas mains and you've done all kinds of wonderful
we
things.
pick up grandma
That's
and
an
grandpa
emergency.
when they fall down and can't get up.
That's an emergency.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's truly an emergency.
Yeah, but why couldn't they call their family and have them come out and pick them up?
Because unfortunately, people are so self-absorbed that they don't.
No, and I will go pick up grandma all day long.
Yeah,
I have absolutely
I love
no problem
that.
with that.
I mean,
I have no problem with that. Yeah.
Shout out to Wasco Fire Department. They've been out and helped my father-in-law several times before that he passed out.
Yeah.
You know
I'll
what?
pick them up all day long. That's what I'm here to serve the community in that capacity. With that, and I actually feel good when I do those types of calls. But the tragedies that I've seen, and I've lost
especially
count.
the ones that we could.
I've been to
prevent.
thousands and thousands of homes.
Yeah.
And the tragedies in the homeless community.
Yeah.
You know, to see those people and the way they suffer and the way they die.
It's horrific.
It's horrible, and that's why they've got this. You know, I'm circling back to the homelessness, but focus, stay on target. That's the importance of what's happening right now, and it's my calling to do this. I have a conviction and a drive to do this.
And that's one of the things that attracts the 20% of the people that do 80% of the work is that we feel that drive, that energy.
Yeah. And you know I'm not a politician. You know I'm a fireman. I've never been a politician.
I know you're a Christian.
Yeah. And
I don't even think of a politician. You just do the right thing.
You just want to do the right thing.
There's one thing that you do that disappoints me, though.
Oh, no.
Okay, look into the camera. So, do you see the little owie on his nose?
Oh, my skin cancers because I'm not wearing my hat or sunscreen?
Yes.
I know. I'm working on that.
It's so, with that, we're going to lead on that. Do you want people to vote for you?
Absolutely. Come and vote for me. If you want change, if you want a new vision, if you want a guy that really, truly cares and will stand up for you, I'm your man.
And he will wear sunblock and a hat.
I promise I will wear sunblock and a hat, yes.
My grandbabies say that it causes, they don't go without sunblock and they do it 20 minutes in the water. I have them like brainwashed. It causes skin cancer and wrinkles.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You'll die or get wrinkles. Those are your
Is that
choices.
what you do?
Yeah. But you know, it's truly a pleasure. And
yes.
You know what? We put some links up on our website and
awesome.
Everybody can get back. Fundraiser, it's on there.
Okay,
Did
August 22nd. August 22nd.
I will put the poster up as we exit.
Plug me in.
So what is the fundraiser for?
It's an intimate fundraiser for...
small amount of people?
Yes, 150. We're capping it at 150.
That's intimate.
Frank Trimble's coming to see.
Oh, I love him.
Yes.
I have him
Champs
see
Barbecue is
great food.
catering. Yeah. So tickets are selling real fast. So, if you want to get in,
are we going to go out and be your press? Film live?
If you want, sure. If you want to go do, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
You're always fun. I didn't show the fireman photos.
Oh, yeah.
The Red Cross. And again, the charity work, that's
Yes.
mainly how we know each other from all the stuff that you've given back. And,
Yes.
You're a great man, wonderful wife and family,
Yes.
and you're going to wear sunblock. So
I'm going to wear sunblock, I promise. Yes.
Well, thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me again.
Yeah.
Yes.
So your fundraiser is on
August 22nd.
So that's in 2 weeks.
Yep. Evenbright.com. Type my name in.
Eventbrite or
Eventbrite? Is it Eventbrite?
I think it's Eventbrite.
I'm sorry. Eventbrite. Or you can link to it on Facebook, on my Facebook page. I'm an open book, and there's definitely.
And your campaign manager, Dan Brown.
Dan, yes.
He also, you can contact him or contact your campaign.
Mm-hmm.
And
yes.
they will keep you updated for any other events?
Yes, we have some more that are being planned, so yes.
Okay. And are you looking for contributions?
Always looking for contributions. I took limits. I don't like money in politics, so in good conscience, I just capped.
I love money and politics.
Yeah.
I just don't like money in politics.
Yes, money in politics is bad. So I capped what I could take, and but there's still room to donate, and we are competitive though, which is really nice. There is huge support going on and a huge movement going on, and I'm very encouraged, and look forward to finishing out the last 80 days of the campaign in a very positive way. No mudslinging, just hold my opponent accountable for his record on the issues. That's
Right.
where I'm at.
And what's really important, in my opinion, for people to know is this is not a partisan race.
Nonpartisan. This
Yeah,
isn't
it's
Republicans,
nonpartisan.
Democrats, Independents.
Yeah.
You know, whatever your political
Do the right
affiliation,
thing.
this is about community.
Well, thank you. God bless. And
Thank you.
I'll see you on the 21st. Fundraiser?
22nd. I just told you.
I just wanted him to
What's your-
remember because he's going to get it on Eventbrite, not
Right. Eventbrite.
God bless. Have a great week.
Thank you.